What we will talk about is quite macabre. In fact, I don't know about you, but just thinking about being buried alive gives me goosebumps. The reason is that it's not something that only happens in movies and books, but it really does happen. When medicine wasn't as advanced as it is today, it often happened that a doctor would declare a person dead who actually wasn't, and who would wake up shortly after. Now, since everyone was afraid of opening their eyes and finding themselves in a coffin without being able to tell anyone, a bell was often placed outside the tombstone that could be rung from inside the coffin through a wire. As time went on, this practice indeed disappeared. The reason is that today it's really difficult for a doctor to declare someone actually dead without them actually being dead. But let's say someone is really unlucky and gets the worst doctor in the universe, unfortunately. This person is definitely dead. I mean, just look at the closed eyes, finding themselves in no time inside a coffin underground. So, what would happen in this case? Well, without a doubt, the biggest problem is the lack of oxygen. To survive for a bit longer, the trick is to take deep breaths and hold the air in your lungs for as long as possible. The human body on average occupies 66 liters and a normal coffin can hold 886 liters. This means that there are 820 liters of air, of which only 164 are oxygen. 64 are oxygen. The fact is that if you found yourself inside a coffin, you would probably panic and your breaths would be anything but regular. But let's pretend you are Soviet spies with nerves of steel. Well, in this case, know that a human consumes 550 liters of oxygen per day, which is 23 per hour. This means that if you were actually Soviet spies who never panic, you would have 7 hours before going into a coma and suffering a cardiac arrest. But what if you were a poor person who couldn't even afford a coffin? Well, in this case, consider that a normal grave is about 2 meters deep, which means there would be roughly 1.5 tons of earth above you. Obviously, if they actually threw it all on you at once, you would indeed really die crushed, but people aren't that evil, so they bury you slowly with a shovel. The first thing you would notice is a significant difficulty in breathing due to the weight of the earth pressing on your chest. Then everything would become darker, and the earth would enter your mouth and nostrils. Do I need to go on, or is the concept clear? Let's consider another situation, this one much more realistic. Let's pretend to be caught in an avalanche. Very few people have survived more than 25 minutes under the snow. The reason is that besides the lack of oxygen, after just about 10 minutes the cold starts to damage our brain, making it increasingly difficult to think and therefore to find a way out if there is one. And there you have it. This is what would happen if you were buried alive. I hope you enjoyed the video and this new format. Let us know in the comments what you think, and if you liked it, leave a like. Anyway, if you want to give us a hand, share the video with your friends and watch another one of our videos.